Alright then guys, so it is another video as part of the maintenance routine series that I've done. This is the last one in the series now, this is the yearly one. And before we get into some of the clips that I've previously done, so they are a little bit older clips that I've done a while ago. But one of the first things that I've got to replace as part of the yearly maintenance routines is the ammonia sort of strip, you know, that you can buy and put into your tank, just so as you've got a quick visual on any ammonia that might be sort of starting to creep up in your tank. Now these do only last a year, which is why obviously it is in my yearly routine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you exactly what I've bought, and I'll show you the one that I've currently got in my tank and where it's situated. Here we go. So this is the Seachem Ammonia Alert, kind of like checker. It's basically just this. You've got the little wee sucker there that you suck onto the glass, either in your sump or in your tank, and hopefully the spot in the center stays completely yellow, which is then in the safe zone, as you can see there. So this is, as I say, lasts about a year. Well, there you go, tells you there. So that's what I'm going to replace now, and show you where my old one currently is situated, and it's just there, look. So definitely needs replacing, got all the stuff all over it. So that's going to come out, the new one's going to go in there, and once that's done, we'll then be able to get on with the next routine for the yearly maintenance. Okay, so one of the other things that we've got in order for our yearly maintenance routines is I'm going to actually remove this glass tank, which is what holds the RO water for the top up, and take it out, give it a good clean, and then put it back in again, and then I'll be able to then refill it. But you probably won't be able to see, but what I'll do is I'll bring the camera in a bit closer, but there is just some debris now floating around in the water, and also around on the edges. There's this kind of like almost like jelly kind of sort of liquid, which I don't really know what that is. So here we go then guys, this is kind of what I'm talking about. If I just reach my hand in, hopefully it will focus. You see, like, we've just got these little bits of debris, really just sort of in the bottom there. I'm not really sure exactly what that is. You know, it could just be dust, you know, bits maybe that has come out of the actual container, of the RO container, from bringing it indoors and then pumping it into here. You know, just the level of dirt that's built up on the front of the glass here. And obviously it's not filtered like the main tank is, so it kind of just builds up. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna take all that out and I'm gonna make it all nice and clean again. So all I'm gonna do here really is just obviously give it a spray out, and I've got a couple of tools here to give it a good clean round. So put a bit of water in and then nice clean up. Now I really don't know what that like jelly sort of stuff is. It was all over the wire on the pump, and all over like the tubing as well, that takes the water from here obviously and then puts it into the main tank. Really don't know, but certainly I think it's a good idea to definitely give your RO tank you know, a clean out at least once a year, depending on whether it's glass or plastic or whatever, but certainly, you know, good check in, empty it through and then just replace it. You don't really want whatever that stuff is going up into the tubing and then obviously up into the main tank either. But let me carry on with this and I'll be right back. I'm just going to give it a final rinse through. You'll also notice that I've not been filling it up very much. I don't want too much weight obviously in the tank because it's just on the grass, you know, probably uneven. Obviously you don't want to crack the tank either, so very minimal water in here, and then, you know, final sort of spray around, and obviously the outside as well. And then I give that all a good wipe over, and then a good dry, and then we'll take it back in the house and get it fitted back again. Well, there we go then guys, all nice and clean as you can see. So all that's left to do now is just top it back up with the RO water. So There we go. Pump's all nice and clean. The wire's nice and clean. The tubing's nice and clean. And the glass tank is now nice and clean. So I'd say that was a good job done. And another one of those yearly maintenance routines ticked off. On to the next one. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to have to do is remove the tubings now for the membranes. So all we need to do here is just push this little ring just there back and then pull the hose out like so. We can now take it off of these two clips, and then I've also obviously got the other two at the other end, so we'll do the same with that as well. Now obviously remember which one goes where. Okay, so we managed to get this off. Once you've actually removed it, you've removed all the RODI lines, if you then empty all the water out into, you know, obviously a bucket, like I've already done here, it will make it a lot easier to remove this. But we need our tool. I forgot that. There we go. So we've got our tool, and we now need to crank this open. Got it. There we go. Woo. Okay, so unscrew this, and then we'll take this out of here, as you'll see in a moment why. So we pull this out. So there's nothing else left in there. Get rid of that. And we've got two new ones from actually Direct Water Filters, who I purchased the RODI unit from in the first place. So all we need to do now is basically just open this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give this a quick rinse out, and then we're going to pop this inside. Now it will only go in one way. This section here I'll put a little bit of Vaseline on as well, and that's going to get pushed all the way down, and you've then got to make sure you've pushed it in and located it firmly into place, and then finally obviously we'll then be able to screw the cap on, and make sure we put a little bit of Vaseline on here as well. Let me go and get that washed out, and then we'll be back to put it all back together again. So that's all nice and washed, cleaned out. Raining outside, so I got a bit wet, never mind. Okay, so we're going to take our new one, and as I mentioned before, just going to put a tiny little bit of Vaseline just on the end of this, and then we've got to make sure that this goes in and it gets seated all the way into the bottom. Like so, that's as far in as that will go. Get a little bit more Vaseline, just put this around on the cap, and then we'll take this and just obviously pop this straight back on. Again, making sure we're not cross-threading. Give it a good tighten, like so. And obviously remember, when you took these RO pipes out, you've got to remember which one goes back where. So whether you want to kind of mark them up somehow is up to you. I remember that the longer one went into this one here, and then the little short one went into this little 90 elbow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the second one off camera, and then what we'll do is we'll get it all connected back up again, and then we'll flush it back through again for probably another 15-20 minutes. Let's get that done. Okay, so last one then going on. Let's pop that in there. So let's turn the source water on, and then we'll turn the actual RODI unit on and see what happens. Going through the flush, watching, looking for leaks. So I'm going to let this go through its flush. I'll be pressing that button a few times to force it back into the flushing again. We'll come back and hopefully it will be making some water. Right then guys, well there you go, that pretty much wraps up now the yearly routines. Don't forget, one thing that I don't have is a UV light, so if you do have a UV, if you are running one of those, then you may want to also incorporate the replacement of the bulb into your yearly routine as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. Don't forget to have a look back through all the other videos. You know, there's 3 to 5 days, weekly, monthly, 2 weekly, I can't even remember what I've done now, 6 monthly, and obviously now the yearly one. So if you've enjoyed this one, give us a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already done that, or if you're not subscribed to my channel. And I will see you, and Piney as well, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.
easy go.